The Fan Zone. You can call us 0207 291 0868. You can tweet at Sports Tonight TV, or you can get in touch with us via the Skype STL-broadcast. Right, let's join our celebrity fan. He's a Spurs fan. He's an actor, singer-songwriter, best known for being a member of boy band Blue and an all-round tidy bloke, Antony Costa.
Good evening, chaps. How are you?
Good evening. And just to sort of emphasise how much of a Spurs fan you are, you were there at Spurs Lodge last night.
Yeah, I was, just to see the comings and goings, because I only live about 10 minutes down the road, so me and my mate just decided to have a little drive up there and see what's going on, So it was quite an eventful day, and, we got some good signings in late, last-minute.com ones, which were unfortunately to play today, so... I was just come back from the game, and luckily I'm speaking to you boys now, because about an hour ago I weren't in a good mood to speak to anyone. Do you know what I mean?
Anthony, Perry's about to spoil it for you even more.
Just on the transfer comes and going, it didn't seem the same without our Redknapp coming out of like Spurs Lodge and being interviewed by Sky Sports and going back in. I miss Harry. Didn't you miss him? Yeah, no,
I miss Harry leaning out the window in his range, but. Obviously things have moved on with the new manager and stuff, but it's just typical Spurs today, mate. I don't know what formation he was playing. 4-2-3-9-8-7-6-5. I don't know. It just baffled me, Perry and Roger. It just baffled me. He's playing two sets holding midfielders in Sandro and Livermore. To me, that's negative. You're playing Defoe up front on his own. The poor boy's getting no service. They're just hoofing balls up to him. He's getting out-jumped, out-classed, out-run, out-everything. And the minute Adebayor come on, we started to look like a playable team that can play a bit of football on the ground. But to me, he was there scratching his beard and putting his hands on his hips, and I thought in a minute he was going to start doing the Congo or something. Do you know what I mean? Because it just wound me up today, chaps. It really, really did. This time last year we lost against City and Man United. Okay, you'd have to swallow that. But no disrespect to Norwich and West Brom. They're top half teams, no doubt. But with the players that we've got, we should have beaten them today. And they scored in exactly the same position and exactly the same time as West Brom did last week.
Do you know what, Anthony? Don't you think he might be one of these managers who try to be a little bit too clever and like smart and the average bear? Because do you know why? Why I saw the game. First half, you were devoid of any creativity. He likes to play the possession game, but there was no zip about. Harry's team played with like an urgency and a vibrancy. There wasn't that today. You're right. We're sending back two holding midfield players. Yeah. But then you go 1-0 up. Dembele scores a fantastic goal. Then he takes Jermaine Defoe off, puts Huddleston on until you go 4-5-1, and then Norwich think, you know what, we can have a go at this.
We can have a go at them, and that's what they did. They pressured and pressured and pressured us. A Cotto left back. He has some great games, but in some games he just goes missing. How can you be a professional footballer, Perry, and you can't at least kick with both feet? Do you know what I mean? Clear your lines, mate. He's trying to do little turns. He's twisting on himself all the time, and it's so frustrating to watch because without Bale, boys, Cotto's lost. Cotto is lost. The minute Lennon went onto the left-hand side, Cotto didn't know what to do. He started running sideways, passing sideways, as he always does. I'm not just pinning at him, but it was due to the fact that we didn't clear our lines like we should have done. They're good players, they're not bad players, but as you just said, they pressured and pressured and pressured us, and it got to the point where we just folded. And why are you changing the formation? If it's working, why change it?
Anthony, as you said, you were at the game. Boos echoing around White Hart Lane at the end of the game. So you're obviously not a fan. How long do you give him?
No, boys. Listen. I give anyone a chance, right? He's proven in Porto, that's fine. But it's different football over here, as you lads know. You're football men. It's a different game over here. He's trying to be all technical and this and that. Just play your 4-4-2 when you're at home, and if you go away, then you can afford to play your 5-4-5-1. But when he starts playing 4-2-3-1-9-8, it just doesn't make sense to me. You're at home. We've got the pace.
Anthony, let me go back. How long do you give him? Because you've had a go at him. You've had a go at him for scratching his beard and sticking his fingers.
I think it's a ginger beard.
I give him. I'm a typical Spurs fan. You'd have to give him till Christmas, but if results don't go our way the next couple of weeks, you know, thank goodness for the England break, because he has to go back to the drawing board now and go, right, I've got a bit of a problem here. I don't know. I don't think he knows what to do. And no disrespect, he hasn't really got that panache of, I don't know. It's just having the aura. Do you know what I mean? When he walks on the pitch, you know he's the manager. I forgot he was the manager today. I was thinking, who's that on the touchline? It was Stefan Freud doing most of the shouting.
He looks more like a geography teacher, doesn't he, or
I mean,
or a sixth form teacher. No, he does. I'm not being horrible, but if you're a fan and a manager, and a player, you want to look over to the bench and you want to be inspired.
Yeah, I know. As I said, you know, he's scratching his beard and putting his hands on his hips, and as you said, he takes off Defoe, brings on Huddleston, and obviously the boy got sent off. But I didn't really see the tackle that well.
It wasn't a sending off. It wasn't a sending off, Anthony. Honestly, he took the ball. And his follow-through, he didn't launch himself. What am I doing backing a Spurs player? What am I doing? But he didn't launch himself. He slid in, and then he caught Halsey, and Halsey rolled around, which I don't like seeing anyway, because he weren't that hurt, to be fair. So it definitely wasn't a sending off. Mark Halsey, too quick.
Yeah, that Halsey's always quick, mate, to be honest with you, mate. He just... decisions weren't really going our way. But as I said, you know, Norwich deserved the point. You know, they could have won it. If it weren't for Friedel doing them point-blank saves, you know, we could have lost.
Well, tell you what,
we could have come away with no points.
So, and you mentioned Bradford. That's another thing that surprised me. Dembele, you'd be happy with, because he is going to be a world-class player, right? That's a given.
He looked good.
Dempsey is a very good Premier League player, so great. But I don't think you needed a goalkeeper. I know he's got Hugo Lloris, and he said Brad Friedel's 41. Today, the save he pulled off from Snodgrass's header, where he's going one way, that's the save. You watch it tonight on highlights of any football.
No, yeah, he's done well. He's done well. He's done well, but I just think now, you know, if you average the season, all right, we've got 38 games this season in the Premier League, plus your Europa Leagues and your FA Cups and your Carling Cups. I just think that, I think in himself, he's thinking, I ain't going to be able to last all this season. I mean, I'm 41 now, pushing 42. I've had a great run. I've never missed a Premier League game. He probably won't miss a Premier League game this season. Probably will bring the Laura's kid in, you know, in your Carling Cup games, in your FA Cup games, in your other games. I don't know. I'm just talking not hypothetically. I don't know what's going through AVB's mind. I mean, he might drop Friedel next week. I don't know.
The thing is, Andy, the reason I think he's created a problem is because Brad Friedel is a top Premier League goal. This Hugo Lloris, he's France's captain. He's not going to come there to sit on the bench.
No, of course not. So it depends how AVB plays it.
Yeah.
If this will prove if he's a good man manager, in my eyes.
Yeah.
You know, putting your arm around the boy and going, listen, you're for the future. You know what I mean? You might not play a lot this season, but you're for the future, and why not? But as I said, this will prove whether he's a good man manager. He's brought in players now. Levy's backed him. All right, we should have got Moutinho yesterday, but you know they started talking to each other about 10:30 at night, which doesn't leave you nothing. So Levy has backed him in certain players, and now it's down to AVB to say, right, I'm the manager. I need to sort it out. I need to do something, you know. But from what I saw today in the first half, oh my word, it was just going back. It was like Ramos's love child.
It was, mate. It was.
So, Anthony, where does Spurs finish? What do you expect from Spurs this season?
Listen, I want a top 4 or 5 finish. You know what I mean? You know, last year we took the foot off the gas as well, which was our fault. It's nothing to do with the old England job. I think that's a bad lame excuse. We threw results away. I think we've got it in us to finish top 6. I'll have to go top 6.
Well, what about the cups? You don't give us
down our way. Sorry, chaps.
What about the cups? You don't give us stuff about them, do you?
Who's that?
The cups.
The cups. Listen, why not? Listen, why not? Why can't we go for the Capital One? I don't know what's called Capital One now.
Capital One, I think.
Capital One Cup. You do your FA Cup. You do your Open. Why not? Why? We've got a squad now. No one can turn around to me and go, yeah, but they're tired. That's rubbish.
No,
that's rubbish.
Work, exactly.
I was doing the theatre 8 times a week, right? I was doing pantomime 12 shows a week, yeah? I had a half an hour break between each show. That's tiring. Do you know what I'm saying? When a player plays on a Thursday, let him play on a Sunday. It's rubbish that they're tired. No excuse.
Anthony, what's Thursday night football like?
Yeah, that's out of order now. You know what I mean? I thought it was my mate, and I thought we were getting on.
There's nothing wrong with Thursday night football.
There's nothing wrong with Thursday night football.
Hey, listen, thanks so much for joining us. I know we're going to speak to you throughout the season.